Alzheimer's, it affects more than 5 million Americans today. It is the country's sixth most deadly disease. And yet finding a cure or a treatment that slows the progression of the ailment has proved elusive. But now, as Meg Terrell reports, there appears to be new hope.
The quest to develop a drug that actually slows the course of Alzheimer's disease has been a long one, marked by failure. Since 1998, 123 drugs have failed in development. Just 4 were approved. None slow the declines in memory loss and thinking clearly that characterize Alzheimer's. This year, though, new hope has bloomed.
The scientific community has really been given a boost by some recent positive news of different drugs, and so we are all very hopeful at this time, more hopeful than we have been before.
Experimental medicines from Biogen and Eli Lilly are under the spotlight this week, with new data coming Wednesday at the Alzheimer's Association International Conference in Washington, D.C. They work to remove the plaque buildups in the brain known as beta amyloid, thought to be toxic to neurons. Evidence from early studies shows that removing the plaques may help stem declines in cognition, results that still need to be supported by larger studies. A successful drug could mean big business. More than 5 million Americans have Alzheimer's today, a number that could triple by 2050. Some analysts estimate the market for an Alzheimer's drug could be $20 billion a year.
This disease is urgent, and we need answers now. Baby boomers cost us about 2% of Medicare overall spending today, and that number will increase to almost 25% by 2040 if we don't stop this disease.
The National Institutes of Health spent about $560 million of its $30 billion budget on Alzheimer's disease last year, an amount some say isn't enough to address the size of the problem. It allocated more than $1.5 billion to heart disease and $5 billion to cancer.
We need to have a war on Alzheimer's mentality here, a sense of urgency.
Fred Hassan led pharmaceutical companies including Schering-Plough, which developed an Alzheimer's drug now owned by Merck. He calls the disease the biggest long-term tsunami facing many countries.
It's a moral imperative because the patients can't speak for themselves. That's why we as society need to speak for the patients here and do more. Half a billion is not much.
The results tomorrow could spur not just hope for medicine, but big moves in drug makers' stock prices as well. Cowen estimates Biogen shares could swing $50 in either direction, representing as much as $10 billion in market value. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Meg Terrell.